So Dan, you're doing all the internet communications for the Tree Man here?
Yeah, I'm doing what I can. Yeah, just trying to bring in help from anywhere that I can. You know, a lot of places I've contacted via phone and email haven't been able to help, but they've all been able to give a lot of suggestions, which have led to other inquiries. A lot of we're still waiting to get back, but yeah, the council's got a lot to answer for.
So the main thing the council seem to be saying is that these trees are unsafe. Have they provided any evidence of that?
No evidence whatsoever that I know of.
I've heard a few people talking outside saying the people the council rely on for that sort of advice are the people who get the job to cut the tree down. Does that seem a bit weird?
It does, considering it's a bit hard to receive impartial information from the person wanting a job.
And you've been here for a few days, you've had a good look at the trees. What do you reckon?
I'm not an expert, but I've heard the experts talk and it's not in the council's favour.
There's been quite a few people who are arboriculturalists who've come round here and spoken off the record, haven't they?
Yes, they've got a lot of, apart from the data they've collected from the site, they also need to look at a number of things in relation to traffic flow, which they're obtaining from the council records and I suppose the roads. But in due time they will have a properly compiled report, and in their own words, they're professionals and they're not going to rush it. They're going to wait till they've got it done properly, and there are two independent people providing reports as I understand it. And
the council have been round themselves. What people have been round from the council and what's their attitude been?
As far as I'm aware, the council sent around, I don't know his name, but I believe he's one of the councillors in the ward. And I've spent most of my time spent in the back room here on the computer trying to follow up leads and get support. But basically, they're not prepared to talk to him unless he gets out of the tree, which is, you know, it's just ridiculous because he's quite happy to talk to the council in private and ask all the media and all the supporters to vacate the area so they can talk in private. He's entirely happy with that, but so far there has been no official person to come and talk to him with the request of privacy.
And he's got walkie-talkie and access to a phone up the tree as well, so it's not hard for them to communicate with him, is it?
No, it's not at all. He could have, if they would have let him, Heritage FM said he's got to come down and go to the studio, or someone's got to go to the studio. But at the end of the day, he's the man who's dealing with it head on, and he's the only person who really should be part of any interview. And at the end of the day, he can use his phone to have an on-air interview. Talkback Radio do it all the time.
That's right. Now I understand the other day when the council were round here and they were trying to talk him into coming down the tree, they actually had a work crew waiting round the corner.
Oh, I didn't see that, but that's very interesting. It wouldn't surprise me.
It seems like a bit of a sneaky trick if that's true.
Well, the whole idea that the council have made this decision and not giving him any, or other residents, any proper form of response or appeal, allowing him 5 working days, and I worked that out from reading the letter myself. He had 5 working days that I figured out from the calendar on my phone in order to respond. Now that 5 days, really, is that 5 days enough for him to compile a response and for the council to receive it and then respond back to him, and then also he needs to be able to respond back to the council's response. It's all really due process. A number of years ago the council came through and tried to chop the trees down then. Him and another neighbour took on the council and did it through council I believe in meetings, and the council ruled in favour to keep the trees. So really, for them to go against that decision which they've accepted and made themselves, they should have expressly notified any and everyone who was part of that process in the beginning.
And what was it that brought you to this campaign?
I'm a good friend and volunteer and helper of Joel Cornwell, the Birdman of Cunningvale, as we most know him. He rescues and cares for parrots and many other animals, but he specialises in parrots. And he does a lot of charity work. He collects fruit and veggies, and he distributes them to needy charities. And he does what he can pretty much 7 days a week. And I help him out, and he's changed my life completely. And I came down here, I believe, on the second day of the protest, and I've been here ever since.
And what is it about the protest that attracts you? Is it the individual rights, council being wrong, wanting to save trees?
The tree should stay there because it does support local wildlife. Regardless, it's not an actual indigenous native. It does still support wildlife. We see birds in there since we've been here. There's been many a bird using that tree. But there's reptiles and insects, the whole range of things. And it's a carpenting. But the actual argument is that they did not get proper consultation or any due notice or any time to respond, especially when they'd already gone through the fight themselves before, and everyone were happy to agree with keeping the trees. And I've been led to believe that somewhere along the line, when they were told that this decision had been made, I've been told they're supposed to inform the residents that they do have the right of appeal and the procedures and the laws to base that all under. None of that has ever been supplied to anything I've seen.
So the council must have got a bit of a shock, really. They probably thought, oh well, we'll bowl over the rest of the 23 trees or whatever it was that were in this street originally. And they've hit a hiccup with one of the forest campaign coming to Hume Street in the Shire of Gosnells. I'm sure they probably thought it was going to go away quite quickly. What do you think the chances are of the people around here giving in before the council?
Not a chance. Not a chance. The more problems that they push on this man up in the tree, Richard, the more public support he's only going to get.
He's getting quite a lot of support at the moment.
Just 2 days ago, someone came from Sydney to see him.
You're kidding?
Yeah, Sydney. We've had people, Jason, the neighbour, which is where we are now, he's had many a call from many people all over the place, all over the world, offering support.
Incredible. And this is what it takes to save one native tree in Australia. It's incredible, isn't it?
It is. But on the top of that, it comes down to human rights, civil rights, and the rights of the ratepayer to be involved in all the processes from their council that are meant to govern the land that they're paying for, essentially.